Okay, I am Connor, I am back, but today we're actually working on a bike. This is Jimmy Bennett's bike. He is one of the owners of Lost Creek Tattoo. Shout out to them, they're homies, they're neighbors. I hear their music all day. I hear their music right now, and you may too. Also, we're awesome, let's get in this thing. So, an overhaul service is what Jimmy needs. He has put in probably, I don't know, 500 downhill park miles. It's something that is our top of the line and top tier overhaul style service. What it does is it practically rebuilds your bike. What he's doing is he's choosing to replace a ton of parts, derailleur, cassette, chain. So that's going to be included in the labor rate. But if he did not choose to replace it, it would come off, get sonically cleaned, and put back onto the bike. We're also doing shock services, lower fork services. His seals will be replaced, everything. What's cool about today is Hayden and I are going to kind of teach DeeO how to do it. By that, like, we're going to explain to him what we're doing. He may do some of it, but we're going to try to do as much as we can in the last 2 hours. So let's get gnarly and get to it. Ciao, ciao. Boom. It is 6:16. We set out to make, possibly an infomercial on what a premium bike service would look like. We're not going to finish this bike. We're probably not going to make a video like that, but DeeO's going to come up with something. This might be an outro. This might be the intro. I'm going to work for probably 13 more minutes and I'm quitting. Let's go. Okay.
This is the first time hearing of this, so good luck, I guess.
Facts. 13 minutes. Start it now.
6:17, get to it.
All right. So what are we building?
Bicycle.
Okay. Okay, so the most important thing that we started is Hayden has already removed the shock for the sake of time, but also he has put the customer's air pressure. He's removed the Schrader valve insert and he's placed it next to the air cap. Why he does that is we actually learned this from Troy at SRAM, but it makes sure that we never, take this apart with the valve or any air pressure, because that is going to injure us or other techs. Also, it is going to be pretty impossible to forget a valve cap, which I myself have forgotten before my own bike. So this is just a system he's created. That's what we've started. Other than that, we're just going to start diving in. I still like working from the back end of the bike forward. However, once we drop the fork, we lose the capability to do some other things like brake bleeds. So I'm probably going to have Hayden come over here. We'll start chatting about how we want to attack this with DeeO as a third person, and then we're going to get to it. Hayden and I determined we are going to do suspension first. Hayden's going to go back to the shock lab. I'm going to do the fork here in the stand. Done gray.
I don't mind passing the time with you. Set your mind right, it's where you find the light, and that's the truth. I don't mind passing the
This is why we're doing it. See all the corrosion?
Absolutely.
See his new top bearing? It's just done. So now, could this be saved? Maybe, and it might be okay, but yeah, there's some corrosion here. It's actually, there's a grease. There was some grease, but you can see some rust. It's just, it happens. These are supposed to maintain and keep moisture out, but I guarantee this is gonna be pretty gnarly. This is plastic, it's just the life of...
Can you handle that?
No, I'm actually pretty good. So yeah, so it did a pretty good job keeping a lot of the dirt and contamination away. You can see where this one, chunky. Cool. Man, that is in there. Yep. Okay, get it out. Cool, so there's the bearing. So that got the bearing out. See, look at all the rust.
Yeah.
Use the flat one. Dad told me that my dog's rebound. Don't worry. Yep. That's it.
Just the other side.
Not that crazy. I mean, it's not this crazy. It's
Not
not
really bad at all, yeah.
That's why I like. Big. So I have Jim's fork out of the bike. What we actually had to do is we had to replace the entire headset. So we're gonna take a look. Hayden's using our Enduro drift set over there. Get that headset in place. The reason we had to do this, right when I looked at it, I saw that the bearing was pretty corroded. I'll probably walk you over there, but his bearings were disintegrated. It is normal, and with the headset, We're talking plastic O-rings, plastic parts, a lot of water. But his bearings, you know, disintegrated. So what Cane Creek does is it gives you the option to install new cups. There's a bunch of different ways to get different cups out of a bike. If you have an aluminum bike versus carbon, that does matter. If you have questions on how to remove cups, just DM us. There is mundane methods with blocks of wood. There's $1,000 tools of extractor kits that we use. Sometimes like elbow grease is the safest, best way for your bike. At the end of the day, hit us up if you have any questions. Lower fork service, however, we offer classes on. Please stick tuned to watch this one. We're probably gonna do this in completion in like 15 minutes. We'll probably show in the next 3 minutes so in the video. Let's do it.
And also, just want to say one thing you pride yourself on. The way you're working on this bike is how you work on your own bike, right?
Always, yeah. And that matters. So any trick that I'm teaching, like I do, like I genuinely love and yeah, do it to my own. And we do it to our own. Let's get this thing done. Look how banged up this nut is. So like I'll just replace that whole nut for him.
Oh yeah. Do you think that's from riding, or you think someone taking it off? Okay.
Oh no, hell yeah. Yep, that is some icky oil. Holy cannoli, Jim, you did it. Yeah, he needs new seals. They're already included, but he needs new seals. Let's take a look at them. Not terrible, but you can see there's the inner greaser we installed, you know, a year ago. So some of it's there. Didn't really get compromised that much, but on the camera, I mean, it smells bad.
Does it smell bad?
Yeah, it's just bad oil and dirt and a lot of riding. All right, let's go clean the levers.
How's it going over on this side, Hayden?
Good, put the shock back in, did the air can service, tested it on the new shock dyno, see all rebone circuit and make sure the compression worked, everything like that.
Oh yeah.
Ready to go, put back in.
This is Simply Green, and right now I'm just punching and cleaning his lines. This is the most important part of the fork. There's 3 bushings in there. That's what has to get clean and get the dirt out of. We do need to dry this, and we'll do that afterwards, but right now I'm really just plugging the hole and just shaking and baking, baby. Shaking and baking. I actually already did this like 3 times, and then DeeO walked in on me, but they're already clean. Now I gotta go pop these bad boys out with some without a broken wrist, install some new ones, throw the lowers back on, inject this thing with some oil, be done. Pop these bad boys out with some without a broken wrist. Done. This is the actual approved method. Watch Push's video. He does this, but it's the back end of a spanner. Not like this. Like this. And don't use one too big. And what you do not ever want to touch is that first bushing with a tool. So this first bushing right here is life. I don't care what you do to get this thing out. Seriously. And if you want to comment on your way, but the back end of a spanner, a 10 kind of hurts your hand. If you use like a 12, it's perfect. And just be super careful, take your time, inch it around, work it in, and then there's one way to install these things, and I'm gonna show you right now live. Come with me. He told me a drawer. I'm doing this live. Box 30. Box 36. These are from Push, Colorado company, the best seal drivers in the game, okay? And this is real. I've already dried that. You want no lubrication, okay? No lubrication. I'm actually gonna recheck because there's some lubrication when I did my dance. No lubrication, bone dry, let's go. Use this little seal right here. Box 36 modern, right here, bang. Right here, bang, boom, boom. This thing, boom. You install it how it goes onto the bike. It does it for you. It does the thinking. You do this. This camera angle is going to be tough. Go into the phone. I like to hold. That was a lot. I like to hold this. I don't put it on something. I know I have a good fit. I hold it with my thumb where it says push, and I go kabang. Done. Now it's done. I can hear it. I heard it. I didn't even look yet. But it's perfect because it has a little rim. And you're done. I'm gonna do the other one right now. Boom, boom. The way it goes into the bike. Make sure that your lowers are dry. They are. I install this thing. I hold with my thumb. I line up my rubber and I go kabang, kabang. You hear that? Get at me. We're done. They're in.
Just like that.
It's honestly that easy. All right. So, a couple little insider tricks. You could absolutely put the foam rings in dry first. Would it be easier? Yes. But I don't think you're fully coating your foam ring. I think you're doing yourself a disservice. because what this foam ring is doing is just saturating all that dust and the particles. So truly, the more wet this foam ring is, the better. And there's even videos, I keep talking about our homies from Push, but he does a video talking about his lower fork surfaces, and every time you go on a big ride, it would help to, I think he says that put your bike upside down like while you're stretching, so that the oil sinks down to your foam rings, and then you cycle the fork. He tells in his video, I think he says you should do it every time you ride, and he's right. And just to reiterate, all it's doing is it's just lubricating your entire fork. If your bike's sitting upright in your bike rack and you go do this epic ride, you've been riding for hours, I don't care who you are, the top of your fork's dry. Put it upside down, let gravity work, get it upright, cycle it like he says, and bang. As I was doing that, these are now saturated. We're gonna clean these dust rings afterwards, but now you just gotta get it, you just truly have to get the foam ring in there. There's no exact science, except that it just has to go in, not to be overlapped. I do make this look a tad easy. Boom, kind of hook in one and then you just roll up with your whole bang. Now, so the lubrication actually works, we're gonna dry that dust seal. The dust seal is the top portion. Boom.
How you doing?
So,
Boom. Dust seal is almost dry. I used to use slick oleum, but I've been really digging this dynamic seal grease from RockShox SRAM. It's been awesome. And then it's just to keep that water barrier, and do not save it, be liberal with it. This is the same stuff used on the rear shock dust seals and the reverb droppers. And I love it. 99% isopropyl alcohol. Yes, 97 works, I wouldn't use 70. Then lint-free rags only for the lower stanchions. Lint-free and 99% isopropyl. It evaporates and there's no water content. Also, those lowers where your saws pour water in it, you have to get them bone dry. You can punch the lines before we get started. So that's been happening while I've been doing this. Right now I'm just cleaning some upper portions. And then last but not least, a lot of dirt loves to coagulate on these lower shafts right here. Get one more towel, do one more clean, and then we'll get the lowers on. I am ready to pull the trigger. I'm gonna recheck, rebound to fit, air pressure to air pressure. Come in a little bit of an angle, and I like to watch my dust seal, so here it is on a tilt now. So I'm tilting just to get this initial lip on. Get it! And then I make sure I'm not folded. Come on now! Come on!
Like what?
It has
Like what? Okay.
It's a fully optional.
Yeah.
Literally everything. That's first take. Oh, I'm still Great, thank you, oh, thank you, Jaren, for this nifty thing. Let me check here.
The Sky one.
This is, come on, man. I can't even make this stuff up. The sound coming out of this bike. Come on, bro. Anyway, that was one. Now let me go get some 20 weight or 5 weight. All grip dampers, 40 cc's of 5 weight. Teflon infused in the damper side. Buy your oil from Fox, then you can't screw it up. That was only 23.
Last week, I think, I was like,
40. All right, quick tip. There are definitely torque specs for these lower nuts. Why I did air quotes, and I wish Jim was here to explain it. These are nylon crush washers. As you tighten it, it is expanding, and it's expanding to make sure this nut does not back off. Also, it takes hammering force to get the lowers to break off from these nuts, meaning you are definitely gonna do more damage over tightening this now than the off chance that like you weirdly have a leak or something. I say that because the torque spec may read 7 to 9. Go to where you feel, I stare, see the crush washer, feel some pressure in your hand and know, make sure it's flush, bang, that's all you have to do. So the one cool thing about the Cane Creek is Jim just went from this piece of plastic that kept his whole fork from moving. It's actually brass now and it's metal. So I think that plays into like these getting destroyed, the OE ones. I also think they probably put those in on purpose because they want their OE equipments to break. Not Cane Creek, but I just think it's a thing. Illuminati in the bike world, maybe. Oh yeah, good point. Give me that. Let's put this on DeeO. It is your turn.
My turn to just hand it to you. That'd be a fun surprise for him. Just put his bars on backwards.
Yo, get a taste, Jim.
So someone watching might know when you keep saying Cane Creek, that's like the company you're doing this whole service through. Like you're buying a set of parts for it.
So Cane Creek, they make a bunch of cool components, but this entire headset that we've been dealing with is Cane Creek.
Got it.
So the race, the headset, the bearing, the top cap. What came on the bike was that piece of plastic. Cane Creek comes in and says, plastic, no good, let's give you a piece of metal. And what's holding this all in now is actually like a metal shim rather than a piece of plastic. It's kind of cool. How do I?
Set your mind right, it's where you find the light, and that's the truth.
Is it worth it? I think so. I'm thinking about life, passing the time and I'm doing alright. You made me happy, we see eye to eye.